Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Connor Field as your 3 and 5 Loyola Dons take on the 1 and 6 Mount Zion Prep Warriors. So Loyola coming in to this game off of the loss against Spalding, which is arguably their best game of the season so far, despite what the score said. So they have a lot of confidence coming in to tonight against a mostly unsuccessful Mount Zion team. So right now you can see they're getting ready for their senior day lineups to come out as we are 20 minutes from kickoff.
Loyola, of course, like you said, they had their best game against Spalding the other day. I mean, even though they lost 20-34, they performed better against Spalding than any other team in like all of Maryland. Like, Big Bad Spalding completely wiped out all of their Maryland teams off the face of the earth, and Loyola is the only team that held their ground long enough to have a 2-possession game instead of a massive blowout.
So right now, if Loyola wins this game, they do still have a chance of making the playoffs. What they do need is for Pilate High School to beat Calvert Hall. So if all that happens, then Loyola can guarantee themselves a playoff spot. But if not, they won't play again until the Turkey Bowl, which will be our seniors' last game. But this would be all of our seniors' last game at Loyola. So it's definitely an important game for them, and you can see there's a lot of family members in the stands tonight.
Senior Day for our 2022 varsity football players. And salute to service for our veterans, retired and active, first responders.
So we have 18 seniors on the team, and now they will walk out onto the field with their parents and family members. They'll be called out, and then we will have kickoff.
Showing up for our senior varsity Dons during their time at Loyola Blakefield. Please join me in celebrating our senior day players and their families as they come onto the field.
So here comes Brody Bruner. He is escorted by his parents, Michelle and Michael Bruner, offensive lineman number 78. Coming out now, it's Luke Cheeseborough, number 81, escorted by his parents, Kelly and Michael Cheeseborough. Playing linebacker this year, alternated from wide receiver a few times. He also comes out with Kevin Cheeseborough, and here comes punter Austin Dulay, number 12, escorted by his parents, Mika and Brian Dulay. So next we'll see Andrew Duvall, linebacker number 24. He is with his parents, Kristen and Steve Duvall. You see him walk down now. You know, this game means so much, especially tonight to these seniors, as it will be their last time playing football on Loyola's campus.
Number 23, Captain Shane Elliott.
Here comes senior captain number 23, Shane Elliott, the wide receiver. He's been very successful this season. He is escorted by his parents, Kristen and Rich.
Number 51, Joe Fernandez.
Here comes Joel Fernandez, number 51. Offensive and defensive lineman. He's been injured most of the season. Here comes out with his parents, Jeffrey and John Fernandez.
Number 82, Jack Francis.
So wearing 42 actually tonight, Jack Francis. He is with his mother, Martha. A backup kicker and punter. But he is wearing number 42 tonight instead of his normal 82.
Number 6, Adam Goose.
Now here comes linebacker number 6, Adam Goose. He is out with his mother, Honora Goose, and his brother, Ange Goose. You can see the stands starting to fill. Now 15 minutes from kickoff.
Number 55, Jason Hill.
Number 55 now, coming out Jason Hill. So he's coming out with his mother Jasmine and grandmother Dawn. Jason played offensive and defensive line all season. So coming out now, senior captain and wide receiver and quarterback. We all know Marcus Hines. He's escorted by his parents, Erica and Greg Hines. Also walking out with him is his younger brother.
Number 7, Captain Nathaniel Jackson.
Senior captain now wide receiver Nathaniel Jackson.
Escorted by his parents. Father Lawrence.
He's escorted by his father Lawrence Jackson.
Number 2, Captain Zeke Jackson.
And Zeke Jackson now coming out. You can see his family definitely here. He is being escorted out by his parents, Tasha and Zelotis. Yeah, Zeke has a lot of family in the stands. So walking out now, number 3, running back Brooklyn Jones. He is coming out with his parents, Ivy and Calvin Jones. Brooklyn has been a key part of the Loyola offense this season, often in the Wildcat formation, which we know Coach Zayu really likes to use in his plays.
Number 34, Barrett Jorgensen.
So now coming out is Barrett Jorgensen, number 34, tight end and linebacker. He comes out with his parents, Lisa and Brian Jorgensen. So we're now under 13 minutes to kickoff.
Number 40, Captain Kyle Powell.
Now coming out, Captain Kyle Powell, who is not here today, but he's being represented by his parents, Jonah and Brian.
Number escorted by his
He's coming out now, Dylan Seymour, number 53, with his parents, Ella and Bill.
number 88, Captain A.J. Szymanski.
Now, a warm welcome for number 88 tight end A.J. Szymanski. So he's with his parents, Pam and Steve. A.J. is committed to the University of Maryland to play tight end.
Number 79, Bennett Wright.
And here comes Bennett Wright, number 79, the lineman. He's with his parents, Deneen and Bob.
And Coach Bob.
So that will conclude our senior introductions. Kickoff will be in 10 minutes, and we will go to a short break.
We all want for everyone.
And we are back, everybody. Both teams getting ready for kickoff. You can see Loyola Blakefield in all blue, Mount Zion in all gray. So let's go over the keys of the game today. So last week, we saw Loyola had a really outstanding game, and most of that was because of their run game. So we think, Loyola probably should stick to the run game today. I think that's the way they'll be most successful, by using their run attack and running through a weak Pilati defense. But now, if you're Pilati, it would be probably reasonable to say you want to stuff the middle with as many defenders as you can, because, Kendrick Worthington, he likes to run, and he uses the middle gap as much as he can. And with the offensive line for Loyola doing as well as they have, this season.
Pride of all our athletes and all that they bring. They do their best in all places. We're also grateful for our veterans, first responders, and alumni at our service academies.
So a special thank you to Father Stegert for his prayer, and now we will go to the national anthem.
Of our national anthem.
And we are back. Both teams coming out for kickoff now. So Loyola and Mount Zion taking the field. It looks like Loyola will be receiving tonight. Zeke Jackson and Ezra Carter in the backfield to receive the kick. KJ Saunders will be getting ready to kick it away. For the Warriors,
Mount Zion with somewhat of a misleading record at 1-6. I mean, it looks really bad, but I mean, you have to give them credit because it's their very first year having the varsity football team in the MIAA, and they had to work like really hard to just schedule games, and a lot of those ended up being against really, really tough teams. Some of them undefeated, which even the #1 seed Spalding can't do.
so not too sure about that one. They tried a little bit of an onside kick. They surrounded it and wanted to down it, and then you could see for Loyola, Derek Cease just snatched the ball and took off running with it. So not sure about the strategy there, but Loyola will have excellent field position, and they're already well into Mount Zion territory as they are at the Mount Zion 41. So this should be a relatively short drive for the Dons offense. It's Brad Cease and his guys come onto the field, getting ready to go. And like I said, Two linebackers stuffed back there. Looks like they're going to be blitzing from this side. Cease. Short screen. And it's going to be whistled down before Shane Elliott can do anything. And it looks like it's going to be offsides on Mount Zion. You can see someone jumped early. So already so far in the first seconds of the game, you can kind of see the unorganization, maybe you would say. That's just, maybe it's nothing, but Loyola can take advantage of this early start. Now they get a free 5 yards. So they go down to the 36 of Mount Zion. So in the shotgun formation, Brad Cease. Play action to Worthington. First pass over the head of A.J. Szymanski. So to bring up a 2nd and 10.
And correction, Mount Zion is not in the MIAA. They're independent, but still their first year having a varsity team, so
they have played. They've played against a lot of MIAA teams. Don't be surprised if in the future they do show up in the MIAA.
Yeah, their one win was actually against John Carroll, one of the other big Jesuit schools in the area.
Looks like Loyola did a substitute change just before the snap. They took off Corey Adams. Now Adam Goose, the senior. She steps back. Pass over the middle is caught by Zach Phillips. And he'll get down to just outside the 30. Maybe the 31, so a gain of about 5. It'll be a gain of 7. And good for a first down for Loyola.
I mean, great momentum starting off the game here from Loyola.
So he's going to go under center now. A lot of confusion. Looks like the line shifting on the Mount Zion defense. As they'll hand it over to Kendrick Worthington, and he'll be stuffed back to Loyola's 36. So a good loss of 5.
If they can just keep that up, though, like keep Worthington at bay and just not let him get through, then that really will help them a lot in winning this game.
So it'll be 2nd and 14. We've just lost a minute. So Loyola trying to get something going with the run game. Now Brooklyn Jones will come in. Cease back in the shotgun. Jones screens to the left. And Cease throws it over his head. He had him for a second, but he threw it a little bit late. Just flew over his helmet. So to bring up 3rd and long. But, Loyola, we saw Owen Shong in warm-ups. He was hitting field goals from 50 yards out. From where they are, if they get another incompletion, I would feel comfortable if I was Coach Zayu bringing out the kick team just to see what he can do in game because he hasn't been given as much opportunity. So he's going to go under pressure. Nice moves by Shane Elliott to get him closer to a first down, but it won't be enough. So bring up 4th down for Loyola. Let's bring up 4th and 6th. They're going to stay on and go for it. They will not kick a field goal, which is probably the easier thing to do. But they're going to keep Brad Cease, Loyola offense, on the field. Worthington back in.
It is an interesting choice from Zay, really testing the limits of Mount Zion's defense early on in the game.
Well, he does do this a lot. Owen Shine does not get many over 30-yard field goal attempts. As this one's going to be caught. Shane Elliott down to the 15 is going to be a first down for Loyola. Maybe the right call after all, because now Loyola is in the red zone for the first time tonight. This time, Brad Cease did a better job just getting it off in time. Placed it perfectly right between the two defenders. Shane Elliott was there. So now Marcus Hines is going to go in at quarterback. He's going to go under center. He'll hand it off to Worthington. Worthington cuts inside, still going. as he will get inside the 10. So we gain about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Loyola really looking like they're about to get a early on touchdown here, which is a great, great position to be in, like literally 5 minutes into the game.
They have been starting slow most of their games, but this is a great opportunity for them to have a strong start. Handoff to Brooklyn Jones, and he just stumbles down as soon as he gets it. Yeah, as soon as he got the ball, he just fell kind of on his face. But that'll bring up, I think, a 3rd down for Loyola. This will be 3rd down with 9 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Cease comes back in.
Mount Zion, if they can stop this drive here and force a turnover, that would be huge for them to show they're not a team to mess around with.
They have a lot of room on the left side. Zach Phillips and Shane Elliott. They're going to go play action. Up to a wide open Szymanski. Touchdown for Loyola. Not expected at all. I don't think they were ready for it. So A.J. Szymanski gets the first points of the night. It's going to be down 6-0 as Owen Shine and the kick team come on for the point after attempt. Sophomore Owen Shine. As we said earlier, we're seeing him in warm-ups hitting 50. No problem at all. Drilling that one. So 7-0 Loyola to start off the game. And their kick team will come on. So an easy put away, and it honestly was all because of that opening kickoff that they had such great field position. You know, the Warriors could have had a lot more room to work with if they hadn't decided to do a tiny toe, like a little toe tap squib, which is honestly the reason that Loyola started inside their own 30. So it almost feels like they were giving them that drive themselves. But Austin Dulay gonna kick it away. It's gonna be Bobby Montgomery and Michael Helwig going back to receive this kickoff. It's gonna be fielded by Helwig. Helwig has an opening and a nice return. Gets him to the 40-yard line. Had a lot of open room. Great blocking by their special teams unit. So we will now see the Mount Zion offense that come out to the field. With good field position, they're almost already inside Loyola territory. Going to get the play call from Coach Spinner. So you see Sayed Williams Jr. come onto the field. He's in the shotgun formation at the 40. Freshman starting quarterback. He's going to start off going deep and nearly picked off by Shane Elliott. Nothing going there. Wasn't open at all. Not sure about that one. Just trying to probably get warmed up starting off. But Williams not able to get anything there. You know, that being said, with Mount Zion having it's their first year, they don't have a JV team. So you'll see a lot of younger players, freshmen and sophomores. There's a big young presence. And a fumbled snap. It's going to be picked up by Szymanski. He's going to go all the way. 6 more for A.J. Szymanski. Wow. So, fumbled off the snap. He tried to hand it off. There was nothing that should not have happened at all. Just an unforced error. Dropped the handoff. And A.J. Szymanski was right there. So already, not even 4 minutes in, it's 13-0 Loyola Blakefield.
Not what you want to see as Mount Zion at all. Almost picked off and then fumbled snap right after. That's going to take a huge blow to the team's morale, but
Yeah, 2 very unsuccessful offensive plays. A.J. Samansky has himself 2 touchdowns on the night, 1 on both sides. Haven't even heard that much from him throughout the season. Trying to keep him preserved. But the extra point is good, and there was a little bit of a scuffle there on the line, but it'll be 14-0 Loyola already. So 14-0, 8:11 left to go. It's still a long way from this quarter being over. So the Loyola Blakefield Community Partners Program invites you to join their program. This program offers a direct way to support our Dons and their Blakefield experience, while also establishing a close relationship with the school and our community. For more information, please visit loyolablakefield.org/communitypartners. So Dulé getting set to kick it away, and Helwig and Isaiah Perry back to receive. See, Dulé likes to kick it to the left a little bit, so probably going to go to Helwig, the senior, and he actually goes to the right, so be fielded by Isaiah Perry, the junior. And this one not as successful as the last. He barely gets past the 25, down to the 26-yard line. So that is where the Mount Zion offense will take over and see if they can actually put together a play. You know, you couldn't really see them put together anything. The route running on their first play really wasn't a route, and the second play, there's the miscommunication. It doesn't feel like the chemistry might be there for them so far tonight. So the freshman comes back on the field. Williams. See, they'll probably stick to maybe handing the ball off a little bit more. And they won't. It'll be a screen pass that goes straight through the hands of wide receiver Bryce Gordon, the junior. It was a high throw, but it still went right through his hands.
looked like he wasn't really expecting a pass there, wasn't ready for it.
No. So, that may have even been better because it looked like if he had caught that, he was going to get taken down. It would have been negative yards anyway. So rather have 2nd and 10 and more time. See Zeke Jackson out playing corner. It looks like they're going to go with a blitz, and they do hand off. They won't get much at all, though. You can see Maurice G following Helwig in motion, and then he was right there to stop the run.
Maurice G, not only great on the field, but a great student as well. He's actually running the freshman retreat. He's a freshman retreat leader this weekend.
The entire school has been preparing for the freshman retreat this weekend. As this is interesting, they have 3 wide receivers stacked up tight to the right. And they have 1 over to the left. A lot of pressure for Williams. Manages to get the pass off, and it's going to be knocked down by Marcus Hines. So actually it's going to be called a catch. That might be ruled as a first down. So it may be caught, it took 2 steps, and then the ball was fumbled out of bounds. They're going to say it's a first down for the Warriors. So a very lucky break because the pressure forced him to roll out to the left, and it was just right place, right time. Now he's going to go empty backfield. So Williams steps back, is going to keep it himself. He gets stuffed after a gain of 5.
Williams was really performing great under pressure there, though. Like, Loyola's quarterbacks, they show a record of not doing too well under pressure. They normally have to get back a little bit more, have a little more time, make sure that offensive line holds out for them so they can get a pass down. But, I mean, Williams just able to run and pass super easily and super efficiently as well.
So 6:35 left to go in empty backfield again. Loyola's going to rush 4. More pressure. And another low pass. That'll be a gain about 2 yards, maybe 3. again, that's going to be to Gordon, Bryce Gordon, wide receiver, the junior. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Warriors. It'll be interesting to see if they have to punt, what that'll be like. If Loyola could get a block, or they're going to rush 4 again. They're bringing a lot of pressure, and it's forcing the young quarterback, obviously the freshman, Junior Williams. Pressure again, airs it out over the middle. And, you know, he could have had him too, but didn't really make an attempt to go for it, and he was slightly an overthrow. So bring up 4th and 4, and the punt team will come on. Honestly, it's kind of interesting to see what they might do. If Loyola can get a block offer. Because it does look like they will punt. It'll be Tavon Ricks. So, timeout's going to be called. I think it's going to be by Loyola, by Mount Zion, sorry. So with 5:50 left to go in the first quarter, it's Loyola Blakefield 14 and nothing going for the Mount Zion Warriors.
Fidelity Building Services Group is a leading national provider of technical building services and solutions. We provide building HVAC and mechanical systems, building automation and controls, systems integration, and emergency generations and power systems for the commercial and industrial facilities market. For more information on all of our solutions, please visit fidelitybsg.com.
So the punt is whistled down before he got it off, but he actually did get it off. It was number 1, Nico Sandoval, senior. Also plays defensive back and wide receiver. It's going to be a false start. You can see the line jump. That'll bring him back 5 and make it 4th and 9. So just means better field position for Loyola, and Shane Elliott, who is back to receive the kick. He's standing at the 30-yard line. Don't be surprised. Loyola's going to bring a lot of pressure off this line. And they do, and it's almost blocked. Barely gets that punt off, and it's really short. Bounces it down. Bounces, they're going to say, 32-yard line. That's where it came out. So Loyola will have pretty decent field position. A lot of room to work with. As it is 14-0 as the sun sets over Loyola. 5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. So Brad Cease, the Dons offense, going to take the field. Probably feeling great about themselves as they've been pretty successful so far. So Cease is going to go under center. He's looking to the left. So play is stopped. So Loyola's going to call their first timeout. Probably just didn't like the play. It looked like it may have been a screen. And that will bring us to a quick break. 5:45 left to go as the sun sets over Blakefield. It's going to be 14-0 Loyola. Out. Loyola's going to come back under center. It's Brad Cease. He's going to fumble the snap. The hand off to Worthington. Looked like he bobbled the snap a little bit, and that's why they didn't get as many yards. It's Kendrick Worthington. No gain. Actually, a loss of 1 there. So we're still trickling down in the first quarter.
Mount Zion doing a great job of just, again, keeping Worthington at bay and just forcing Loyola to take the game in the air.
Yeah, it's like we said. They got to try and put a lot of pressure up on the line. So it looks like they're going to rush 4 and blitz 2. So it's going to be another timeout by Loyola because you know they could sense the blitz. So that's their second of the half with 4:55 left to go. But I understand that they sensed a blitz. They were going to rush 6 people and may not have been smart because depending on whatever their play call was, if it was a short run play or a screen pass, you can make sense of why they called the timeout. And so it'll be 2nd and 11. Ronaldo in motion. Marcus Hines takes the snap. He airs it out. And it's just off the fingertips of Christian Ronaldo. You saw him go in motion. Had a streak route down the field. Couldn't do it. Mount Zion did a good job of applying pressure to Christian Ronaldo. And they did a good job of reading that play.
Christian Ronaldo, the junior, not a name you hear quite as often.
So now
as
surprisingly, Mount Zion has just forced Loyola to try and convert on 3rd and 11. Cease is going to be taking the snap. Probably going to go back again as 4 are going to rush the quarterback. Cease senses the pressure and he's going to roll out. Big shot downfield. And it's just going to be dropped again. That was Zach Phillips. Looks like he also may have had Shane Elliott over on the left side. But the pressure came and he had to do what he thought was best. Now Austin Dulay comes out for his first punt of the night. Dulay's had a really nice season so far for a long time, and he may still, to my knowledge, but he did lead the MIA in punt yards. He has a really big leg. He can punt it really far as this one goes down to the 35. And a little bit of room, but Michael Helwig couldn't get much done on that punt. So Mount Zion will take over at their own 37-yard line with 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. Loyola defense doing a good job. But with Mount Zion just forcing that 3 and out, we'll see what they can do.
I mean, like you were saying about Dulay, though, he really is a great punter. He has about a 35-yard punt average.
Which is definitely, that's above average for
Yeah.
high school right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at NFL, you're like, oh, that's nothing. But, I mean, high school, it's really good.
And that even is like, you see people in college a lot of the time punting that far. So, Austin Dulay, remember that name. Because you probably will hear it again in the future. A phenomenal punter. He also plays lacrosse. But now, Mount Zion offense coming back. Junior Williams. Just going to motion over Helwig. Gonna run it up the middle and get about 2. It's gonna be Isaiah Perry with the gain. It's gonna be 3rd. It's gonna be 3rd and 5. Dropping back, pressure comes. Williams gonna roll out to the right. It's gonna fall short of the first down marked by 2. So he's gonna be brought down by Aiden Smith and Giannis Kligas. So 4th and 2, they're gonna go for it because they really can. And don't be surprised if they get it. Loyola looks like they're gonna bring a blitz. And they do, they're gonna rush 5 and blitz 1. Going deep, and it's almost picked off by Maurice G. He had it in his hands. But that might even actually be better because now they have the ball deep into Mount Zion territory where if he had picked it, he probably would have fallen shorter. But obviously, you know Maurice wants that back.
Second near pick from Loyola tonight.
Yeah, that'll be painful for him to watch back over again on Monday. You're not going to get them all. It looks like Marcus Hines will be taking the snap. But, you know, knowing Maurice, he'll just shake it off and move on at the next play. That's just kind of the person he is. Motioning over Worthington, and it'll be a sweep. And like always, Worthington's just going to stay on his feet and bust his way forward. Even if that wasn't a big gain, just the athleticism, not your average high school running back. The average high school running back he would have gone down. But Kendrick Worthington really is special. And given that he's only a sophomore, in a few years he will be making even bigger plays. But really good job by him to turn that into a positive play instead of a negative one. Bring up 2nd and 6. Under 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. They'll give it to Worthington again. Sheds the tackle. But he will be brought down. It'll be no gain. Let's bring up 3rd and 6. Probably going to bring back out Brad Cease. Given that they need a pass, and they will. That's one thing about the Loyola playbook is that when you see Marcus Hines taking snaps, it can be pretty easily guessed that they're going to go wildcat. Either he's going to keep it himself or he's going to hand it off to Kendrick. And then on a situation like this, when Brad comes back in, you know that they're going to be passing it. And he's going to go deep, looking for Carter. And good coverage by BJ Rankin. As that will force another 3 and out. Good job by the Mount Zion defense. They're keeping themselves in it. The offense just isn't using their opportunities. So then we are under a minute left to go. And Dulé will punt again. Loyola defense definitely wanting to keep up the good work. Punt's going to be fielded. It actually won't. It's going to go. That went all the way back to the end zone. So that was like a 50, 60-yard punt. So, be a touchback, which may have been better because if he had taken the fair catch, he would have had bad field position. And if he had tried to run it, Szymanski was right there for him. So, Junior Williams, quarterback, the young freshman, will try again. Hasn't had much success at all, but he has done a good job of keeping away from the pressure and avoiding too many negative plays, which, you have to give him that. He's doing a good job managing it.
It will be interesting to watch both these teams in the next few years.
They're going to do a flip. Excellent job by Loyola not letting that turn into a first down. Tackle will be made by Tommy Tucker, the junior.
Yeah, it will be interesting to watch both these teams in the next few years as they both have really young starting quarterbacks. I mean, neither quarterback on either team is even an upperclassman yet.
Yeah, Brad Cease, the sophomore. It'll be exciting to see Brad and those sophomores and freshmen that are already doing so well. It'll be exciting to see them as seniors and juniors and the stuff that they can do, because they can only get better. This one goes over the head of KJ Saunders.
And, I mean, Loyola's JV team doing amazingly well this season as well.
So with just 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter, I mean, if you're reflecting on this, it's been looking a lot better, but offense did get stopped up short a few times. The score could have been higher. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but the score definitely could have been much higher, given the fact that we went 3 and out 2 times. So last play of the quarter, the pass will be caught by Helwig. Helwig's going to stay on his feet. Helwig's going to go into Loyola territory, down to the 40 where he shoved out of bounds. What a way to end the first quarter on a positive note. Loyola sideline really mad at that, just the miscommunication. It's an excellent play by Michael Helwig.
Great end to the quarter of Mount Zion, though. I mean, that's exactly what you want.
So, Cole, do you think they're going to switch sides then? Because they just went all the way down here, switch a quarter. Probably see him go walk it down. I guess they're not going to switch sides. So that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Loyola Dons 14 and Mount Zion Warriors still have nothing. That'll take us to a quick break here. So a penalty on Loyola is actually going to force Mount Zion up another 10, 20 yards. Flip and some nice moves there by Deshaun McIntyre. So the flip pass and the stop and go. So Mount Zion creeping up just outside the red zone. Big red flag for Loyola.
I mean, good work by their quarterback there, or not the quarterback. I missed who actually ran the ball. I'm sorry, but I mean, it was great play to just let the Loyola guys run right past him, so he can just get down the field.
Again, a 4 is going to give him a 2nd and 6. It's going to be another handoff to McIntyre. Turns the corner, and he's going to get to the 20. No gain, really. He turned the corner, did a good job of avoiding the defender, but he couldn't get past the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 6. So, already lost a minute in the 2nd quarter. Shotgun formation. Isaiah Perry to the left. Pass is going to be caught. Will not be good for the 1st down. That's KJ Saunders again. But they won't get it, so they'll bring up 4th and short. They're going to go for it, though. Not wanting to take the field goal.
I mean, field goals
it's 4th and short, it's 4th and 2, but it is still a pretty audacious move considering the pressure Loyola's been giving. The timeout's going to be taken by Mount Zion. They're 2nd of the half, so both teams with just 1 timeout left already. They burned 2. So what you did see, though, this drive, is that when they tried to run it up the middle, they wouldn't get anything. But when they've been running it from the sides and doing these screen passes, Loyola hasn't been able to stop them. So Loyola applying a lot of pressure up the middle, and then Mount Zion adjusting, and then going to the outside, and Loyola hasn't really caught on yet. So with the timeout, Mount Zion gets the chance to just kind of reset. Probably didn't like the play call. Head coach Tyree Spinner, his 1st year with Mount Zion. So 4th and 2. Probably was the right move to call a timeout anyway. Now they only have 1 left. Empty backfield. He'll keep him himself. And they haven't whistled down the play yet, but it was a fumble. Wow, there goes Marcus Hines. So it looked like some of the players thought there was a whistle. I mean, I know I certainly thought the play was whistled down, but they fumbled it. It looked like he had gotten across the 1st down line. He just lost the ball, and then Marcus Hines picked it up. So Loyola's defense doing a great job of forcing these turnovers, even with the red zone threat. Mount Zion still couldn't get it done on offense. So now it's going to be for a fresh set of downs, but this time it's for Loyola. Going the other way. Here comes Marcus Hines.
That has got to be real frustrating for head coach Spinner, though. Just confusion on the field and a play that could have easily been stopped had they just picked up the ball.
And a run to Jones. Jones going to get a gap, and Jones has a 1st down. Nice gain of 15 on the play. Loyola already making moves. They won't go 3 and out this time. They're going to go hurry up. And this time, Jones is going to do a great job breaking the tackles. Still on his feet. He broke 2 tackles in the backfield, managed to keep himself up, and a flag is thrown after the play.
Jones on fire right now. Wow.
Brooklyn Jones certainly performing tonight. That was a great job of keeping himself on his feet. He did stumble a little bit, but he definitely would have had about 20 more yards. So it's going to be a personal foul on Mount Zion to just move up Loyola even more. Be an automatic 1st down. Mount Zion's really got to pull it together because they're not showing that they can operate tonight. Especially like, the score could be a lot higher hadn't it been for a few little things. It's going to be Marcus Hines taking the snap. He'll pitch it to Jones on the left side. Jones still on his feet. He'll take a loss. So with 9 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the half, it'll be 2nd and 8. Sorry, it should be 2nd and 11. It's going to be Cease back at quarterback, probably going for the pass, trying to get those yards back. He'll send Zach Phillips in motion. And the Loyola line jumped before the play could get off, so it'll move him back 5. Big loss for Loyola.
Huge momentum moving down this drive, but they're losing it quickly. They got to gain it back. Hopefully not
So now 2nd
a
and long
turnover.
for Loyola. Going to motion over Phillips again. They're running the same play as they were going to. It's going to be a screen pass to Phillips. Nothing going there as he got stuffed behind the line. This is going to be 3rd and a lot. Honestly, I couldn't even keep track of that. So it might be like 3rd and about 20.
Looking like a 3 and out, which is surprising considering the huge plays leading down the field.
Well, not really a 3 and out, but Loyola lost all the yards they had anyway. So Hines looks like maybe they're gonna go with the Wildcat. Hines, room to run, but I question that decision a little bit, honestly, because he had so many more yards to go. I don't know. I don't really know why Brad Cease was not in on that one, taking a deep shot, because they're nowhere close.
You have to run a marathon to get to the first down.
And we have an injured Don on the field. Try and take a look and see who that is. So with that injury, we will go to a break. And we are back. Looks like Loyola's going to take a field goal. Surprising. But it will be a 45-yard attempt for Owen Shine. Saw him hitting 50 today. And they're going to wave the kick no good. Which is surprising because to us it looked like it went through. Must have gone off to the right. But now, and we do know that the Don that got hurt was Aiden Bird. He walked off. He was fine. So we'll see if he comes back. You can see him on the sideline right now, just walking it off. So Owen Shine with the no good kick. But you know he can make that. So we will see Junior Williams come back. The run to McIntyre, not going to get anywhere. Loyola was there. That was Zach Phillips along with Andrew Duval on the tackle. So it'll make it 2nd and long. So, I mean, the clock's ticking down in the half. And they have bad field position. Honestly, what are you doing right now if you're Coach Spinner?
I mean, really, just go with that sideline again. Like, just screen pass down the side. What you've been doing, it was working before, and it's working again right there.
Yeah, it does work again right there, but I'm not sure if that's good for a first down. No, it'll be 3rd and short. 3rd and about 1 or 2. We're under 7 minutes left to go. These short routes are what's been, and the short routes and the outside runs are what's been good for Mount Zion. You know, the fumble in the red zone is when they tried to run it right up the middle, and A.J. Szymanski was there. So, I mean, it just definitely says something about what they should be doing versus what they are doing.
I mean, it is definitely interesting because throughout the season, a lot of teams have kind of gotten past Loyola by running straight up the middle through a hole, and now Mount Zion is doing the opposite, going to the side.
Started off the middle to the side, but that should be good for a first down. Yep, the side judge will wave it forward. It'll be a gain of 5 and a fresh set of downs for Mount Zion at their own 31. 6 minutes left to go in the half. So now the pitch to McIntyre, going to try and turn the corner again. No can do. Marcus Hines is there shaking his head. He had him the entire time. Tried to turn the corner, and honestly, he could have if he was able to shake them free. This will be 2nd and long. 2nd and about 11. So 2nd and long, shotgun formation for Williams. Williams going to float it up. Has a man wide open. And it's going to be off of his fingertips. Which, honestly, I just don't know why that would have happened. He had him wide open. Pretty bad read by the Loyola secondary. And he just matched it with a bad throw. And it was a drop. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. You know you want that back, and you can see the frustration on the sideline right now. That if you can just communicate that a little bit better, throw it a little later, then he would have had a first down, and they would have been deep in the Loyola territory. Because he had no defenders even near him. As they're going to try again, and another overthrow by Williams. This time the target was Bryce Gordon. So with that 4th and long, the punt team will come back on. Shane Elliott's just going to walk right on back to receive it. Another efficient stop by the Loyola defense, but they caught a lucky break with those 2 overthrows. So, yeah, honestly, Williams just not doing that good of a job trying to get the ball through the air. They're going to pack the middle. Yeah, it looks like someone in the crowd calling for an illegal shift. They're going to down it at the 20. So, but honestly, I think I may agree with that illegal shift call just a little bit. The way they kind of moved in, out, and then they all rushed back into the middle right before the snap. It definitely looks suspicious. So sorry, Loyola will get it at the 31, their own 31. As they have ways to go, we'll see if they can put together a successful drive. It's going to be Marcus Hines taking the snap again. They're definitely trying something different. So Marcus Hines, flip to Jones. It looks like forward progress should give him a first down because he got shoved back after he crossed the 40-yard line. So with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, should be a gain of 5. It'll be second down and 4 for the Dons. Hines going to take it, give it to Worthington. And Worthington took a big hit there. He did a good job of keeping the play alive as long as he could. So we got third down and short for the Dons.
Varsity volleyball Dons are actually starting their game in 6 minutes against MSJ for the volleyball championships.
State championships, playing the 1 seed Mount St. Joe. So with 3 minutes left to go in the half, it's going to be Brad Cease back in to try and get the first. And he will. Shane Elliott keeps the chains moving for Loyola. Honestly, you know, Brad Cease probably is going to go back out. But, I mean, maybe it's just because of the senior night situation. But I do think Brad is getting them all, like, the big passes. And, you know, when Marcus Hines is in, they're probably going to try some other tricks. Coach Zayu has a lot that he stores up his sleeve, so we'll see. Shovel pass to Brooklyn Jones. You'll get, like, 1, so not much. They're going to keep it actually at the same spot, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, like you were saying, Loyola does kind of have a bit of an identity crisis within their quarterback position. They often alternate between Brad Cease, Marcus Hines, and Kendrick Worthington, really depending on the field position and situation. I mean, Cease in for most of those like big passing plays, and then Hines coming in like often in the red zone or to just do screen passes. And then Worthington really coming in for that wildcat.
This will be Maurice G playing some offense. That should get him close to the first down mark. Bring up 3rd and 3. So with 2 minutes left to go in the half, Cease, who seems to only be coming in for 3rd downs. Mount Zion has been given a lot. So they kind of they expect it. They haven't allowed anything this second quarter. This time in the first quarter was still 14-0. Cease going to air it out over the middle. Nearly picked off. Overthrew it. Miles Leonard and the punt team will come on. No, actually. Because they're not in field goal range, but they're in their territory. So it does become the question of, do you punt it or do you keep him on? But honestly, I'm not sure about you, Cole, but if I'm Coach Zayu, I feel comfortable punting it just because you're up by 2 scores. They have only 1:45 in a high school. That's really not that much. But if they feel like they can get it, then, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not. Pass. It's going to be caught by the freshman, Corey Adams. That'll be good for Loyola Dons. First down, Corey Adams' first reception of the night. You saw him getting more action last week against Spalding, and I think they're trying to fit him into the playbook a little bit more because he's been successful. And he told me, I had the chance to speak to him the other day, and he said, you know, that he had been performing in practice, and I guess they tried to make some shifts in the lineup. So you'll be seeing and hearing more of his name. So pressure comes. And pass is batting down. A screen pass was intended for Kendrick Worthington, but it was knocked down by number 77, Sterling Wiggins, senior defensive lineman.
So he really is kind of like shifting around the players in the game recently, like just putting in a lot of people that haven't had much time this season. I mean,
So to bring up 2nd and 10.
Kerry Adams, and there's also Aiden Bird, who was in there earlier, unfortunately injured now, but
Well, he should be fine. But Cease going to motion over Shane Elliott. Cease going deep, looking for Zach Phillips, and it's over his head. And a flag is going to be thrown after the play by the Loyola sideline where Shane Elliott went out. And I think they're going to call a personal foul on Colin Richardson.
Loyola feeling strangely confident with their passes today, like passing really, really deep, like on 1st and 2nd down, which is a bit of an interesting play rather than just having Worthington shove it up the line like always.
So Loyola's going to face 3rd down. They're going to keep moving the chains. They're trying to place it. Or so they thought. But yes, the personal foul call. And indeed, it was on Colin Richardson. You saw after the play on the Mount Zion sideline, he did shove Shane Elliott unnecessarily. So penalties like that, it really kills you because now they have a fresh set of downs, and they're just outside the red zone. Loyola's knocking at their door, really, right now. It's going to be Cease going under center. Play action to Worthington. Cease going to go deep. And it's going to be incomplete off the hand of Shane Elliott. It did look like number 11, Miles Leonard, was pulling his arm back. I think that should have been pass interference, Cole.
Yeah, but like also going back to that penalty though, like really flashback to that Gilman game. I mean, really another good example of how penalties can seriously affect the game. I mean, that Gilman game, the refs were really just painting the turf in yellow, just calling everything and having huge effects on the outcome of the game.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Definitely think that should have been a pass interference call. It's not. And the play clock expired. That is not good. A flag will be called delay of game. So the play clock run out. Loyola just didn't call the timeout. So Loyola will call, the coach say you did end up getting a timeout off right before the play clock hit 0. But they shouldn't have to waste their last timeout on the half due to an unforced error. Trying to keep it more disciplined and, you can't have something like that wasting your final timeout when you could need it in 30 seconds. If they're going to try and go for a field goal or something like that, they're going to want a timeout to get their kicking team on. So having to waste it on a potential delay of game penalty, I honestly may have even taken the yards just because they're still in field goal range. And they don't, 3 points is better than 0. But we'll see. Cease is in, so they're probably going to go for the end zone. He'll take a low snap. Pump fake. Floats it up. It's over the head of Corey Adams as he stopped before he went for it. So a misread route there by Corey Adams and Brad Cease. Now we're under a minute left to go in the first half. So Loyola facing 3rd and 10. They've just been taking deep shots to the sideline. But, what they're looking for is something like that play that they had with AJ, getting himself open in the end zone. We haven't seen much of him other than his 2 touchdowns. So he's been a key player tonight, and it's going to be picked off by Mount Zion. Really bad read. And Mount Zion's going to take over at the Loyola 50. Really nice play. And it was picked off by, I think, number 28, Al Michael Wallace. So it looked like he just threw the ball, and Kendrick Worthington's back was just turned completely to Brad Cease, and it went right over his head and straight into the arms of Wallace. So mistakes like that, that's what's going to be killing the Loyola's drive. They haven't gotten a single touchdown in this quarter. So it looks like they're at the 48. All right, so it's going to be Williams. Steps back. Williams under pressure. Pass to a wide open receiver. That's going to be caught. And that will be Gordon. Good for a Mount Zion first down. They're doing a much better job of moving the ball. They were really failing early on in this game. Now they've started to pick it up, and Loyola started to slow down.
And they've also, they needed a fast drive here as the half winds down, and they're accomplishing that well.
That was a good job by Zeke Jackson breaking that one up. 20 seconds left to go until we reach halftime. So I think Loyola might be just getting a little bit too comfortable because they're playing like it, and Mount Zion's not really been able to take advantage of it as they still remain scoreless. So now Junior Williams going to try and put something together. Maybe get a field goal. Floats it up. And it looks like Michael Helwig was out of bounds, so they're going to rule that incomplete. I don't even think he was close.
Yeah, it looked like he was about 2 yards out.
So it'll be 18 seconds now left to go, 3rd and 10. And, depending on who their kicker is, I'm not really sure if they're in field goal range or not. They just put together this team, so you never know who, what they might do with this. But it's 3rd and 10. So if a few sloppy incompletions, they're going to try it again. And Williams going to keep it himself. He'll fall short of the 20-yard line and the first down marker. So with 9 seconds left to go in the half, it will be 4th down and 3. So this could easily be the last play of the half. But I think Mount Zion, they still have a timeout left. So we'll see if they use it. They have 10 seconds left on the play clock. So they're going to have to hustle to the line here.
Looks like they may not be confident in their kicker, so they're going to go for it.
The play clock is expired. Yeah, the play clock expired, and it was expired for a few seconds. So I'm not sure why they let that one get off, as this pass is going to be caught. Touchdown, Mount Zion. Bobby Montgomery. But yeah, so like I said, the play clock expired, and it was sat there expired for a long time, and it looks like Mount Zion maybe had to call a timeout. So I don't think that's a touchdown.
Shouldn't be, but the officials did not call the delay of game.
Yeah, so the officials in the press box, it looks like they're still figuring out because they haven't put they haven't ruled it a touchdown. They ruled it they did rule it a timeout, so yeah, it should still be 4th down. So I guess they're ruling it not, they're going to say it's not a touchdown. They'll say, even though the play clock was expired, so they'll take it, they'll try and run it. Not sure who, but it'll be ruled a touchdown for Mount Zion. And actually, that was the quarterback himself, Williams. Mount Zion's going to get on the board. But it was a lucky break because that was blatantly delay of game in the back. And they should not have been placed on the 1. The play clock was at 0 when they got the snap off, so there's going to be flagged down, but they fumbled the snap anyway. It's going to be offsides on Loyola. It's going to move them up more. So see if maybe they even go for 2, but probably not. Not looking good for Loyola right now, as they're going to move them up 5 yards. Let them try it again, but see if Loyola can block it or do something to close out the half. Yep, it'll be blocked. That was Zach Phillips. And Phillips is going to take Loyola to half. Your Loyola Dons 14 and the Mount Zion Prep Warriors 6. And with that, we will go to break. And welcome back, everybody. Austin Dulay getting set to kick us into the second half as Loyola with the controversial call at the end. But we have a new 24 minutes of play. So we'll see what they can do with that. Nothing really going for that return. Got him to near the 30-yard line. So it's pretty solid. But, you know, if you're Loyola, you really want that drive back because that should not be 6 points on the scoreboard right now. And Loyola, I mean, they shouldn't have let them get that far into the red zone anyway, but you know they want that back, and they're going to try and get it back now by forcing another turnover. They've done a good job so far, but they just let that one get away from them. So with that, Williams, opening handoff, going to try and round the corner. It's a solid run for number 18, Isaiah Perry. So he gets almost to a first down, but they probably should have brought him down farther back. Did a good job of shifting and breaking the tackles. So with the 2nd and 2, we'll see what Williams is going to do right now. Another handoff, and they're going to fall short of the first down, gain of about 1. That'll bring up 3rd and short for Mount Zion. Be 3rd down. See if they can get a stop, force a punt. Try again on offense because they had a very unsuccessful second quarter. They just kind of slowed down, got too comfortable. And if you're Loyola, you definitely should not be comfortable with what you have right now. You shouldn't be satisfied with this. It's not their best performance all season. And that catch is going to be made by KJ Saunders, and that'll be good for a fresh set of downs for the Warriors.
Yeah, Loyola really just getting 14 points super early on in the first quarter and then just sitting back and relaxing after that.
Yeah. No, you're right. They got it in the first 5 minutes, and then we haven't seen anything from them since. And at the end of the half, you see Mount Zion get that.
I'm like, how do you really like bounce back from that? Like, how do you get that like first 5-minute momentum back in the second half?
Well, you know, honestly, they need to stop right here first. They need to start taking little steps. They're thinking about, well, we'll be up 30-0 at the end of the game anyway, and they're not thinking about the here and the now. So they need to start thinking in the present and not thinking towards the future, because that's what's killing them right now. They're just kind of overlooking it. They're way too comfortable. So to get that momentum back, they just need to try to get the ball back, and late in the second half, they failed to do so.
I mean, yeah, Mount Zion, too, needs to start taking advantage of Loyola's, like, casualness right now.
Yeah, and then another thing, you know, if they got one of those turnovers, like that one interception with Maurice, if they had stuff like that happen in all the fumbles, that would also be a big momentum shifter, as Williams, the quarterback's going to get free and down to the 30. Loyola defense is just slipping up, making big mistakes that you can't have. So it'll be a fresh set of downs for the Warriors.
I was just about to say Mount Zion's going to have to start being more aggressive, but they kind of said it for me.
They said it for you. It's going to be Williams' empty backfield. Stacking to the left. Zeke Jackson played a little bit too far over. Yeah, on the run. That's why they did it. It's going to be Perry. And around to the left side. He has a blocker. Perry has some room to go, and a flag's going to be thrown as he's brought down at the 11-yard line. But the flag might be a holding call since it was called by the back judge. So we'll see what that'll be and if that'll bring him back, and it looked like it will. So, yeah, I think that's going to be holding on Mount Zion. Yep, that's what they will say, and they will move him back 10 yards. A good play wasted by an unnecessary and unforced error. So, just those errors, and Loyola had a lot too. But Mount Zion has had a lot of penalties. They've lost a lot of yards from it too. It's a good example of that. So they will now be moved way back to where they originally were at the 30-yard line. So here they go. It'll be 2nd and 10. There goes McIntyre. Tries to turn the corner. He'll get about 5. Bring up 3rd and long. Sorry, 2nd and down.
Volleyball Dons also now well into their match for the MIA championships, and the Calvert Hall Cardinals have also started their game against St. Vincent Pallotti, which will, like, the outcome of that game will determine whether Loyola makes playoffs or not.
So wait, what do they need again? What they need to win by how much?
If it is, so if Calvert Hall loses, then Loyola and Calvert Hall will have the same record in the conference, which I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is there that determines who makes playoffs. But if it is based on score differential, then Calvert Hall will need to lose to Pallotti by 17 or more points.
Well, that does seem a little bit unlikely, but if it happens, it'll be a nice break for Loyola because then their seniors will get to continue their season before the Turkey Bowl, as Calvert Hall is, I believe they're in the playoffs. As here's a sweep with no result. That's Bobby Montgomery. It'll be 4th down and 3, I believe.
If Calvert Hall does win tonight, though, that's not all that bad either, because it just gives Loyola more time to practice for the Turkey Bowl while Calvert Hall is out there running around.
If Calvert Hall loses, are they not in the playoffs?
If they lose, then there's a chance they could be in the playoffs, depending on what the tiebreaker is. I'm not sure.
I think that's the McDonough-Gilman game. So right now, Loyola and Calvert Hall both kind of dependent on other schools to get in. And that'll be picked off. It's going to be a touchback, Loyola ball. That's Zeke Jackson. Loyola's going to take the ball from the 25. Big stop. So Loyola, you see, we just talked about the momentum change.
Yeah.
We said a big turnover like that, and there's your momentum change. Now look, crowd's back. Everyone's happy. Loyola gets the ball back and another chance to score.
One of Zeke's family members jumped an entire flight of stairs when he got that.
Yeah, he has so much family in the crowd. It's actually crazy. So actually, it looks like the refs will say they have the ball on the 1. It's not a touchback. He caught it, had his feet not in the end zone. So now there's a chance they could even get a safety, which they don't want at all. So that's a handoff to Kendrick Worthington. No gain. So it looks like an update in the volleyball game. Mount St. Joe has won the first set 25-17. They are 2 sets away from taking the title. Loyola still needs 3. So they have some catching up to do down over at Mount St. Joe. But here at Loyola, 2nd and 10. Marcus Hines stepping back, has to air it out. And this one's almost going to be picked off. Incomplete. Target was Ezra Carter. But, you know, probably the right decision. You didn't want to take a safety, risk losing the points. So, third down now. And 10 for Loyola. Marcus Hines still in at QB. They're going to blitz. Run just to try and get him away from the end zone. So they're going to bring on the punt team. So they were not able to capitalize on that drive. And they're going to give the ball back to Mount Zion, who will probably end up with some pretty good field position depending on what Austin Dulay does. He is not disappointed so far, so we'll see. He's deep in the end zone. This could end up as a bad situation for Loyola. Just don't want to make any crucial mistakes here, because Mount Zion, if they pick up the ball, that's potentially a game-tying situation. Thankfully, that doesn't happen. It's going to be ruled. It's not going to be ruled a fair catch. Surprising decision. But it looks like Hellwig goes down. They're going to rule it down, but it did look like Loyola may have picked up the ball at the end of the play. It was whistled, so it will be Mount Zion ball at the 40, unless you see, I think they may have just called a holding penalty.
Keep in mind that if Mount Zion does get a touchdown here, they will need a 2-point conversion to tie the game up, because the PAT just will not be enough.
So Williams drops back, pressure comes, and the play is whistled down. They're going to call a false start on the offense, bump him back 5. But you saw Zach Phillips and they didn't really like that, because they were about to get their hands on him, and that would have been a loss of a lot more than 5. So false start bumps him back 5, but the sack would have bumped him back around 10. So mutual reactions from the Loyola bench as we approach the 5-minute mark in the third quarter. Still 14-6 Loyola. They have not done much at all on offense. Defense is keeping them in it. So Williams on a first, and he's going to go down. That'll be a loss of another 10. So that'll be second and a lot. They're barely in their own territory, and they need to get inside the 30-yard line. So they are a long way away. Probably not going to be able to do much with this drive anyway. So second and 23. Pass going to get caught inside the 40. Goes KJ Saunders, still a long way away. So in quarter 3, we have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. So it's going to be third and long. It's going to be third and 9. Sir.
Theoretically, though, if they could somehow run the same play with the same result, then that will give them first down, which will be amazing coming from second and 23.
Yeah, that big play that kept him in the drive. As the pressure comes, William barely able to get it off. But nothing going, it's incomplete. Huge play. And that was Giannis Kligas. The junior linebacker and Spinner is not happy. Coach Spinner is not happy at all. And he just told his quarterback to sit down. He was fine. He just told his quarterback to sit down and almost like play injured. You told him, you could see him like, yeah. Sweet. So First National Bank is proud to support Loyola Blakefield, home of the Dons. At First National Bank, They believe that doing the right thing for their customers starts with making their communities even better places to live and work. Their involvement with Loyola is just one example of how First National Bank gives back to local communities everywhere. Please stop by their local branch in Towson at 1 West Pennsylvania Avenue or visit other branches throughout Greater Baltimore and the Mid-Atlantic region. You may also visit them online at www.fnbonline.com. So, the injury timeout with the QB, so they'll have their backup quarterback go in. That'll be Gavin Harrison, another freshman. So, see if he can make a change, but that's a big blow. You saw he was hobbling off the field, and then his coach told him to stop the clock, told him to sit down. So Harrison starting off aggressively, and Zeke almost had another pick. Nothing going there. So it'll be 1st and 10 Loyola after that 4th down conversion is a no-go. They tried for the end zone. They only needed to get to the 25-yard line. So Cease and the offense are going to take over. So like, Cole, how big do you think that injury is of Low, considering that they're just replacing it with another freshman? I mean, what do you think the impact is late in the game?
I mean, really, they have 2 freshman starting quarterbacks, which is just really strange to me. But to be a freshman starting quarterback, I feel like their second guy still must be pretty good.
And that was a big play to Jones to get him to the 50. It's going to be a gain of 14 and a fresh set of downs. Brooklyn Jones having a heck of a night as we have an injured Warrior on the field. So with that injury, another one from Mount Zion, we will go to another break. So we are back. Got the player off the field. Didn't really get a chance to see who it was. And apparently it's Miles Leonard, wide receiver. He's been making a big impact on defense, so that's another big blow. So Marcus Hines is going to motion over. Handoff to Worthington this time, and Worthington spins his way down. Gain of 7 and a flag down. 2 flags down from the back judge and the side judge.
We haven't seen as much from Worthington as we have in previous games. I mean, we saw him a ton in that game versus Spalding last week, but now Mount Zion really just stuffing him, just forcing Loyola to get in the air.
Just going to put Loyola way back. So again, another sloppy penalty that's kind of been ruining the drives. They've seen this actually a lot throughout this season, and it's a reason that they've lost a lot of their games. You take the McDonough game, this was basically the story of that game. The penalties and a lot of the drops and not being able to get capitalized on offense except for the first quarter. So if it weren't for those 2 nice plays in the first quarter, then Loyola would be trailing 6-0 against Mount Zion, which they really should not be. But good for them to try and keep hanging on to this lead as Marcus Hines is going to find Ezra Carter at the 50. That's only going to give him halfway to the first down marker now, as they still have 10 to go. It'll be 2nd and 10. It was just 1st and 20. As the holding call put them back 10. But good job by Marcus Hines finding the open man, and it was a really good throw too. I think they're going to try and stick with Marcus Hines for the rest of the game as the pressure comes and he gets it off. Incomplete, but you know, that was actually almost really intended for Aiden Bird. If he had had his head up, that could have been a first down for Loyola. So just another thing, you just got to pay attention just when you're blocking. I mean, I'm not sure if maybe he was an activated receiver or not, but it's just these little things. So I think it'll bring up 3rd and 10, and it looks like Coach Spinner, Tyree Spinner, wants a flag. He's making the motion. And so they do throw a flag after the play. I think it'll be an illegal shift, and that'll put him back again. So, yeah, actually, I agree with that penalty. He was in the pocket, and he threw it, but it was towards an intended receiver. But Bird, I'm not sure if Bird is activated because you have to be an activated receiver. Offensive linemen can't catch balls. So, I mean, he was playing tight end, so it looked like, but that'll give him like a 3rd and 20. 3rd and 19. Marcus Hines going deep, and it's picked off. Not even close. Wow. KJ Saunders inside the 30 for Mount Zion. Terrible read. As Mount Zion just stole away the momentum again. That is unbelievable. Yeah, Marcus Hines just going to find AJ Szymanski, and he just jumped right in front of him, a double team. It was a really bad read by Hines, and I think probably should have looked elsewhere before making that throw. But now Mount Zion just has another chance, and Loyola's offense just keeps giving them chances, and the defense keeps giving the offense chances, and it's just kind of going in a cycle the entire game. So Mount Zion not able to capitalize, and neither is Loyola, as they wasted another drive. They're only up 14-6, 2 minutes left in the third. Still anyone's game. So it looks like Williams is back in, nothing serious. So he throws his first incompletion of this drive. Bring up 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that was also a good tackle from Ezra Carter, number 14, on that big play from Mount Zion back there. I mean, he came in like right behind the back of Saunders, just able to run up and just use pure speed to just catch up with Saunders and just tackle him from behind.
And so, with that, they'll try a run, get nothing. Kligas there again to stop him up. And it looks like it'll be 3rd and maybe 11 or 12. So, Williams trying to make something happen. 3rd and long. 2 minutes left to go in the third. Going deep, has a man. Not going to be good for the first down. But that's Saunders. Saunders has been really good today. So he had the pick. And it looks like he just hobbled off, actually. He's hobbling on the sideline right now. He's just trying to walk it off, but he is limping all over the place on the sideline until he finally reaches the bench. So that'll be 4th down and 4. So now that you hope they haven't lost that key player, because that could end up being the game for them. But now Williams on 4th and 4, their last chance to capitalize of Loyola's off defense. And it'll be a timeout taken by Mount Zion. I think maybe just before the play clock expired. But I feel like the coaches might even be paying stricter attention to the play clock than the back judges.
George, what was that thing you did when the kid was injured?
So Loyola offense needs a big stop. Timeout called by Mount Zion. I think they only have one more left in the half anyway. Might come back to bite them later. Play clock running now. Here's Williams. Crowd on their feet. Everything shaking in the press box now. Under pressure. And Williams gonna keep it on his feet. Did he get there? They should have sacked him a while back. But now they're gonna move the chains and see if they can try and spot him somewhere. So they're gonna move it forward. It's gonna be first down, Mount Zion. Good job by Williams of breaking the tackle, but he fell right out of the hands of the Loyola linebacker. So, I mean, you gotta try it. You gotta make that tackle. But the Loyola defense been standing tall all game. And it's kind of been up to the offense. So, I mean, they can't be perfect every single time. Loyola, like the offense also has to have their fair share of success, and they really haven't since the early first quarter. Handoff again. Inside the 5 goes Isaiah Perry.
Mount Zion with some insane momentum here.
Mount Zion is really close to tying the game and absolutely embarrassing Loyola Blakefield. It's a gain of 12, and it'll be good for a fresh set of downs for Mount Zion. So not much going there again. It'll be second down and goal from the 6-yard line. As we're under 30 seconds left to go in the half. So I think they're just going to let it go to the end of the quarter. So to bring us to a close in the third quarter, Loyola Dons 14, still in the Mount Zion Warriors 6. That'll take us to the break. So back to open up the fourth quarter. Team switch sides. So now Mount Zion is going to be peeking into the end zone. Williams going to step back. Play action and a handoff to Hellwig. And Hellwig has just put Mount Zion down by 1. Unbelievable. Sorry, down by 2. They need the conversion to tie it up. It'll be 14-12. Unbelievable. The defense has just kind of started to fall apart late in the third quarter, trickling in now. So like I said, being comfortable has really come back to bite them. And they haven't scored since the first 5 minutes of the game. So they just have not been able to capitalize on anything. And eventually Mount Zion's going to get 12 points. I mean, it was going to happen anyway. It's just the offense has got to start picking it up. And they're going to go for 2, try and tie this game up. If they don't, Loyola will be incredibly lucky. And if they do, it's just because of really bad play. And I think a false start call. Yeah, it'll be false start. Moving back 5 yards. That's gonna make it a lot harder. So they're gonna still be going for 2 because they gotta try and save their game. But Loyola just got another lucky break. See if they can start plugging the gaps.
I mean, honestly, though, like, Loyola won that game against St. Vincent Pallotti because Pallotti started feeling too comfortable, and then Loyola was able to get that forced fumble and then onside kick to come back and win the game. And now this is like the same situation. They're just switched sides.
Loyola cannot afford to lose this game under any circumstances, and they should not really be this close. And Loyola is not playing the football that we saw them playing last week against Spalding and the week before against Gilman. Even though they lost to Spalding, if they had played the game they played against Spalding today, they would be up 30-0. So, Loyola called a timeout. That is now over. So, Mount Zion coming on to go for 2. Big play. This could be the game if they don't get it. Could also be the game if they do get it. Fumbled snap, not gonna do it. He has to run, he can't throw. Williams, can he get there? No, he can't. He almost did, but Zach Phillips almost called game there.
Second fumbled snap on Mount Zion. That's had a huge effect on the game.
So like it's a huge break because they almost let him slip through and score. But, I mean, it was just the miscommunication. I feel like if that snap hadn't been fumbled, this game would be tied. So, Loyola still got to get something going. So I think Brad Cease is actually out on the return team, standing next to his brother. But Zeke and Ezra are playing up on the ball. They're standing at the 30-yard line because I don't think Mount Zion has a kicker that can kick it that far. So you see actually on the field, Sanders is going to try and kick it away. And that's good. At least his leg is feeling better because you saw him hobble off the field earlier in the game. So good that was nothing serious because that could have been something damaging for Mount Zion. It's actually really good to have him back on the field. He's been part of the big reason that they're winning. Well, not winning, but keeping it this close. But he'll do another squib, and it's going to be fielded by the punter, Austin Dulay. He's just going to stay down, not take any chances. I think maybe they're just having fun on senior night because Austin Dulay and Brad Cease were out on the return team, the punter and the starting quarterback. So I'm not sure, but they just got to focus on the offensive possession. I honestly think Brad Cease should be playing each snap at quarterback, which is just my opinion. I'm not sure about you, Cole.
I mean, yeah, I think so too. Because I mean, going back to the quarterbacks, I mean, he really does. Coach Day really does have Brad Cease in typically to make those like plays to get the drive going, and then he puts in Marcus Hines once they get closer to the red zone.
So the
or
Wildcat,
Worthington.
yeah, you're right. The Wildcat's going to get like a gain of 1. But he can't, I mean, honestly, I get using it, but you can't abuse it. There's a difference. So I think they may have abused it a little bit today. And I think with they're taking advantage of what they have, maybe I think if Brad would like taking more snaps, then this game would be looking a little bit different. But Loyola, keeping it too close for comfort. But they're playing pretty comfortable right now, so not sure about that. So I don't know who's taking the snap now. It's going to be Shane Elliott taking the snap. Shane Elliott has a first down. He'll be brought down at the 36-yard line. So you saw Marcus Hines taking snaps. Worthington just took the last one, and this is the first time we've seen this all season. But Shane Elliott just took a snap. And the flag's going to be down in the back way after the play, so I'm not sure what that may have been. It looks like they may have just said that there were 12 players on the field. Which I am not sure about.
I mean,
So 12 players on the field, that's just going to put them back by 5.
each official does have their own job, though, and one of those is to like
The back
literally just to
judge.
count
Yeah,
the players on the field.
the back judge is going to be keeping track of your holding. The side judge is going to see who's jumping on the line. And there's the front judge. And there's also a referee that we have up in the press box that determines things like play clock. So now it's going to be second down and very long. It's going to be second, and they're at their own 31. They need to get very far, and the play is going to be whistled down again. So we see what this is now. Another flag is down, and they're going to say this one's false start. So Loyola just lost a ton of yards due to penalties. They have to get, so they're inside their own 30. They got to get to the Mount Zion 45. So that was a false start. But now they're going to move it all the way back to the the 27. So they have be second and maybe 20. I think it's second and around maybe like 28 or 30. So Marcus Hines taking the snap on second and long, just trying to get some insurance yards before they try a big play. Time it's to Zach Phillips, and he makes his way up to the 35. He'll still make it third and like 20.
Yet again, though, like I keep saying this, but it keeps happening. Penalties affecting the game so much. I mean, throughout the entire season as well. I mean, if you look all the way back at that first Friday Night Lights game against Georgetown Prep, that call, that roughing the kicker call, was the very reason Loyola lost that game in double overtime.
The penalties also killed him against McDonough. They killed him against Spalding. They're killing them now. And if they have to punt, which they will, they're going to have to punt. And it looks like Ezra Carter is down. He gets up. He's going to be fine. But, yeah, they're going to have to punt again. So now this is really dangerous because with 9 minutes left, they're giving Mount Zion the ball. They're going to have good field position, and they're only down by 2. So totally unexpected.
And with Saunders back in as well, they actually have a much better opportunity to get a field goal and take the lead here. So
we'll see. maybe Loyola, they've been working that special teams magic. This punt's nearly blocked, and it looks like they tried to get a man off the field, so they would have had 12. I'm not sure if that maybe touched his foot, but they're going to have a really good punt. They're going to down it inside the 20. So, never mind. Forget about the good field position. Austin Dulé is just going to be Austin Dulé. And the Loyola
Classic
special
Dulé.
teams, I mean, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Special teams is also a pretty big help, I guess. Especially when Loyola has such an amazing one with all the blocks. So, update, in the volleyball game, the Dons even it up, taking a set 25-22. It is now 1-1 in a tie over down at MSJ. So, it's going to be first to 3. Whoever wins the next 2 will take it home. But in a 1-1 game this close, we'll see. It should be interesting down there. As of now, Loyola defense has some work to do. And a miscommunication almost, but Sanders is going to get a gain. He wasn't looking when he threw it. He turned around after Williams called him out. He was barely able to make the catch, but then he stumbled. Got about 4. So 9:17 left to go in the game. Right now. Loyola student section has been doing what they do best, especially in games like this. And right now I'm not sure if that's cheering on the team or shaking up the press box. Maybe a little bit of both. But Williams, screen, and is going to be caught by Isaiah Perry. Nothing going there. I don't know why they were trying the screen pass. But it's almost kind of like a Matt Canada Pittsburgh style offense in that they're doing all these short screens and end around routes. They're not really trying to go for the middle. So, I mean, they've been running it on the outside. They've been throwing screens. If they go deep, they're only throwing it about 10 yards. So, it's just the yards after carry and the reception yards that these running backs and wide receivers are getting. That's how they've been successful so far. 3rd and 10. Going deep. Has a man wide open. First down, Mount Zion. That's going to be Perry. Or sorry, that'll be Bobby Montgomery, keeping the drive alive.
Update on Calvert Hall versus Pilati. It looks like Calvert Hall has unfortunately won 14-7 against Pilati, which means Loyola will not be in the playoffs unless McDonough loses to Gilman, but that is very unlikely.
McDonough has a very successful team, and Gilman, I mean, you can't really say the same for them. But McDonough is certainly expected to win. That'll be something interesting that you might want to keep an eye out on. Because if Gilman manages to pull an upset, then Loyola will make the bracket, I think. So,
Yeah, so I guess...
Yeah, that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. But right now, Loyola, I mean, we can't really say, yeah, if McDonough wins, Loyola goes to the playoffs, because Loyola still has to win this game. And the way things are going right now, they might lose. And if they lose, you can forget about McDonough and Gilman and Calvert Hall and Pilati, because we failed to do our own job. So Loyola defense really needs to stop. Williams, pressure. He's going to keep it. He has a first down. Williams cuts to the 45. So, I mean, they have not even been able to tackle, Junior Williams at all this game. He's just been really good at dodging the defenders. He's kind of been proving himself to be a dual threat freshman quarterback. So, Mount Zion will be happy to have him for, their coming years at their program. So, fresh set of downs for the Warriors. Williams now with Shafiq Frazier. Play action, they're going to give it to Perry. Perry misses the tackle, and Perry's going to get free. Unbelievable. Isaiah Perry. And Mount Zion takes a lead. Their first of the night. The defense just sat and watched and invited him into the end zone. 18-14, Mount Zion.
I mean, Mount Zion has just had a great game today. Like, really sticking it up to a team they really were not predicted to win at all.
So, the Loyola can thank the Lord, because that penalty is going to bring him back, and they're not going to have a touchdown. But that was certainly a scary moment for them, and frankly, if they had let that happen, I mean, that could have been the game. So now they really got to tighten up. Now they know what's coming for them. So, I mean, they got to start doing this. Like, they got to start stepping up the tackling game. And so it'll be 1st and 20 for Mount Zion. Loyola just got a lucky break. They've been getting them all night. That's the only reason that they're up by 2 right now. But having not scored since the first quarter, I mean, they're lucky to be in the lead, and I think they should not be taking that for granted. They rush 4. Going deep. Almost intercepted again by Maurice G. This time it was off his fingertips, harder to catch. But Maurice G almost had his second interception if both of them had gone through his hands. But now with over 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the game, it'll be 2nd and 20. And Loyola should probably consider start putting in extra safety back there, as instead they take Maurice out. I'm going to put Zach in the backfield with Shane Elliott. I think they should probably put 3 in the back. That's just me, though. You can't leave. They're leaving a lot of the side wide open, playing more man-to-man instead of the zone game, as they're going to go to Sanders. Sanders makes a move. He's going to be brought down way short of the first down line.
It's really been just killing Loyola this game. Is that, to be honest, I feel like they're playing too aggressive of a defense because they're getting too close up to that quarterback
They're
and just
pressuring too
leaving the
much.
back wide open.
So they'll get down to the 46, and it's going to be 3rd and 13. You know Mount Zion's going for it, obviously. No matter what the outcome is, Loyola, I mean, is not going to be happy for them anyway. Even barely getting off of that win, it's still going to be a rough next week for them. As pressure comes, he airs it out. Nearly intercepted. And it's going to be a pass interference flag. And actually, I completely agree with it. He shoved him way before. There was also a flag thrown in the back. So we will see, maybe, hopefully, if they're offsetting. But if that's pass interference, then bye-bye 2-point lead. That's all I will say. Because, I mean, well, I think I honestly agree with the penalty. It looked like maybe it was Ezra Carter or Shane Elliott just shoved the receiver to the ground. Yep, ball's going to move up 15 yards. You're going to give him a set of downs. All they really had to do, there was a bad throw anyway. It wasn't even going to go anywhere near him. That was completely unforced. They didn't need to do it. And because they did, now Mount Zion has a very good chance of scoring and putting this one away. You know, unless the offense can do something. Williams. Sweep to Perry. Cuts in the middle. He goes down. A field goal can also put Mount Zion in the lead. Keep that in mind, everybody. But I don't think they'll be taking a field goal, considering Sanders is their kicker, and I don't think he is really capable of that far of a field goal. I mean, each kickoff they've done has been a little squib. We really haven't seen any example of any really kicking power from Mount Zion. So we'll see. It should be interesting.
I mean, I don't believe they've punted once this game, have they?
I don't think. No, they have punted one time. Williams, pressure. Over the middle. Almost intercepted again. This time, it's out of the hands of number 36, Tommy Tucker, where he bumped into him, but you really want that one back because if he caught it, that's game for Loyola, too. I mean, either side, this is it. So 3rd down and long. So yeah, Maurice G almost had it. 3rd opportunity. But
I mean,
a lot of missed opportunities so far. Crowd getting really loud. This could be it.
5th near interception this game and 3rd this quarter.
Williams, pass. Caught by Sanders. Sanders makes a move. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. He broke 3 tackles and made the 1st down. Loyola missed 3 tackles on Sanders, and they gave him the 1st down. KJ Sanders, I mean, he had the little injury scare, but he's still really been keeping this team alive. And so now they have another fresh set of downs, and they're just 12 yards away from the end zone. Not a good look for the Loyola defense. So Williams going to hand it off. This time it's a name we haven't seen at all today, really. It's going to be Michael Wallace. He did, I think, have 1 carry earlier in the game. So he's getting a 2. It's going to be 2nd and 7 or 8. Should be a 2nd and 8 because it was a gain of 2. But now Williams going to hand it off again to Wallace. And Wallace is going to go down. A.J. Szymanski with the big tackle. Going to make it 3rd and long. So it's going to be a loss of 3. That'll bring him back. So it'll be like 3rd and 10, or I think it should be 3rd and 10.
A.J. Szymanski, the 6'5" senior, really, we haven't heard much from him this game.
I mean, except for the 2 touchdowns that he has.
I mean,
so yeah, we've heard from him, but haven't heard from really. No, because you're right. We haven't heard from anybody after those 2 Szymanski touchdowns.
Yeah.
So no, you're absolutely right. We haven't heard from him. We haven't heard from anybody. A.J. Szymanski got us the 2 touchdowns, and it can't just be an A.J. Szymanski football team. It's got to be our defense, and so Mount Zion's going to call a timeout, as that could have just been one of the game-deciding plays.
I mean, Ezra Carter also not in as much as I think he should be. I mean, Shane Elliott's a great player, but you can't have him in all the time. And GBMC is both a neighbor and supporter of Loyola Blakefield. For decades, GMBC and Loyola have worked to build a stronger Baltimore community. GBMC looks forward to continuing to offer care to our next generation of Baltimore leaders. Roll Dons roll.
And so, with that, Loyola, the Mount Zion offense facing a 3rd and 10. So, we will see what they're going to do. I mean, it should be interesting to see. This play, Loyola defense needs to really, I mean, I guess you can use the term clutch up, because they have 1 shot. They gotta do it, and they have to do it clean. They've stopped them, and then they've had a penalty or so. So now Williams, the freshman who's been very successful tonight. A lot of confusion going on. The play clock is not even moving. So I think the clock is still stopped. Loyola sideline huddled together. A lot of confusion going on. I'm not even sure. I think it looks like they're talking. The refs are talking to Blake Henry, the athletic director now. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there.
Fans are yelling about an ejection.
It looks like they may have just ejected a fan from the stands. That was what the pause was for. So now that just made the crowd even more angry. Not the result. The refs even, Mount Zion, the refs ejected a fan. Now it's just got everyone fired up even more. Pressure comes. Going deep for Sanders. Sanders, what a catch. And it's going to be ruled incomplete.
Mount Zion robbed out of a touchdown yet again.
It looked like the ball may have hit the ground, but that was incredible athleticism by KJ Sanders. You got to give him the credit. He really has been the key factor for Mount Zion all night. And just unlucky there, but now it's going to be 4th and 10. If they can't get into the end zone on this play, Loyola will have the ball. Loyola would be incredibly lucky, too.
At that point, they can just run out the clock, but
4th and 10. This is probably the most important play of the entire season for Loyola Blakefield. Their season is most definitely over, really, if they can't get this. Going deep. Pass. Caught. Ruled incomplete again. Wow. Not going to get it. Loyola sideline on fire. The stands are on fire. And it's turned from a feeling of dread to a feeling of joy. It looks like maybe even Mount Zion just got robbed 2 plays in a row of a touchdown. And honestly, from my angle and from your angle, I think he got in. I was really,
yeah.
we called it a touchdown both times. The refs don't agree. But Loyola just got 2 lucky breaks in a row.
3 touchdowns in a row just stripped away from Mount Zion.
Even with that, so now Loyola takes over with the ball. And even if they manage to get away with this win, they still have a lot to think about. They can't be jumping up and down, patting themselves on the back for a win. When really they played, discredit that first quarter, and Mount Zion wins 12-0. So it's going to be running it. They're going to run it out. Worthington managed to pick up a few. They gain of about 3 or 2.
Loyola is usually a fourth quarter team. They in the past, statistically, they've scored more touchdowns in the 3rd and 4th quarter than any other quarter, combined even.
Teams are usually either a first half team or a second half team. Loyola, we thought they were a second half team, but they have not done anything since the first 5 minutes of this football game.
First 5-minute team.
Yeah, well, that is not the kind of team you want to be, but it's good that their defense was able to come in clutch at the end. They're just going to continue to run the ball with Worthington. And Worthington finds himself a gap across the 50. It's a foot race. Worthington gets shoved out of bounds at the 30. And Loyola in a celebratory mood because they actually capitalized on a play. They gave it to the big man. We said it in the beginning. Run the ball with number 4. They finally do it.
Mount Zion, just after those 3 touchdowns they did not get, they just let their guard down, and they have been stuffing Worthington all night, not letting him through, and they finally let their guard down, and Worthington just runs downfield with it.
Yeah, Loyola finally able to find that gap, and we said it in the beginning of the game. If Loyola wants to be successful, they got to use that. They got to use number 4, and they can't just keep doing the same old play every single time, even against an unsuspecting defense who proved to be a suspecting defense. So Loyola doing a really good job, and they go in the victory formation as Marcus Hines knees it out. So what an end to senior night at Loyola Blakefield. As the clock trickles down, we have a minute left to go. So they only need 1 or 2 more knees, Loyola will go home with a victory. Caught a lucky break. Weren't able to score after the first 5 minutes. And in the end, like we said, I mean, this is exactly the old saying, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. And it was Loyola's defense that won them this game and potentially even got them a playoff spot, if depending on what happens tomorrow afternoon. And so, I mean, yeah, this was a really defensive game. I'm not sure if you'd agree with me on that. But if Loyola still has a chance, and I think it was really all because of the secondary, you know, Ezra Carter, Zeke Jackson, Shane Elliott, Zach Phillips, all also wide receivers, but coming up big in the secondary, and they're going to knee it out again. Looks like Mount Zion had taken a timeout. So with a minute left to go, they knee it out.
I mean, still huge credit to, head coach Spinner and, really the whole Mount Zion team. They have played an amazing game tonight. Loyola's faults aside, they have really stepped it up compared to their previous games. And, especially Saunders. If Saunders has any family watching at home, make sure to congratulate him. He's really carried this game on his back.
So, another thing to note is the 18 seniors that are on this team, this is their last game they will ever play on this field or on Hargenden Field or at Loyola. This will be their last time playing a Loyola football game other than the Turkey Bowl. So, just a special shout out to all of them and their 4 years at Loyola. That's Brody Brunner, Luke Cheeseborough, Austin Dulay, Andrew Duval, Shane Elliott, Joel Fernandez, Jack Francis, Adam Goose, Jason Hill, Marcus Hines, Nate Jackson, Zeke Jackson, Brooklyn Jones, Barrett Jorgensen, Kyle Powell, Dylan Seymour, AJ Szymanski, and Bennett Wright, who started freshman year at Loyola. And what an exciting way for them to end their season, their regular season. Because this, other than the Turkey Bowl, this is the last time this team will be together on the field at Loyola. And who else but the senior, Marcus Hines, to kneel it out? They're going to give him the honor with 20 seconds left to go.
And a lot of these seniors, make sure to just stay updated because you're going to hear about a lot of them in the future. Bennett Wright is committed to St. Mary's.
AJ Szymanski committed to Maryland, sorry. And there's a lot more. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
I don't know the other college comments, but I'm sure a lot of these guys, all you have to do is just type their name into Google and they'll pop right up just in a few years.
And clock expires. It's going to be Loyola who get the win, 14-12 over Mount Zion. Had a few scares, but I feel like that's all part of Friday Night Lights. So that'll do it. Here from Connor Field, I'm George Schaefer, joined in the press box by Cole Cross, Nico Graziano, and Mr. Nitty himself. Thank you, everybody. We will see you in the next one.